Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 3 of Culture Shock. Yes, I finally came up with a name for the series. Episode 1 was the Day of the Dead, and episode 2 was the Pride Parade. Welcome to episode 3. Culture shock is a term in sociology. I don't remember the definition, I just know that it works, so I'm gonna put it right here. So, religion. What, who, why? All of these questions are not going to be answered in this video because I am talking about something completely different. But before we get into the topic of this video, I want to start it off with a little story. There I was in college algebra. The good old days when numbers... I hated it. Never mind, it was a bad class. Nothing against the teacher, just the subject was just... We were sitting, waiting for the teacher to come to class, and me and the rest of the students in that classroom were trying to guess each other's religion, and... I need a chair, hold on. And my friends and I from math class were trying to guess each other's religion. And a lot of the people, you know, they would guess wrong, and they'd be like, you're wrong. I'm not Episcopalian. I'm a Catholic. And that sort of stuff. When it came my turn, I'm like, so what religion do you think I am? And then everyone all at once literally looked at me and said, you're Christian, Jeffrey. What the heck? Why? What makes you think that I'm a Christian? I was wearing this t-shirt that day. Did I give it away? Was it too obvious? But yes, I am a Christian. I am a proud Seventh-day Adventist, which is a type of Protestant, which is a type of Christian. And based off of my personal religious beliefs, I think that Jesus died for everyone, which means that each person has intrinsic value, since the person I revere as the most worthy of praise died for all of these people. All of us, me, you, he, we, she, them, they, zer. Jesus died for all of us, which means from my perspective, everyone has value, which means that I should show the same love and care to others that Jesus has shown to me and also to others. And love cannot exist where there is misconceptions or misunderstanding. So I think the best way to learn to love others is to find a middle ground and learn to understand them. Hence this video. I am currently in a world religions class for one of my generals for my degree, which I haven't declared yet. I'm figuring it out. But in this class we have to do field trips to certain places of worship, you know, like a synagogue, a mosque, etc., blah blah blah. And we only have to do 2 out of 5 of the field trips, but I'm electing to personally do all 5 because this subject interests the heck out of me. And plus I want to understand everyone and just generally experience everything. So that's what this video is. I'm gonna step out of my bubble again and go to some cool places. What is this video? I still don't know how to do intros. Maybe I should make a theme song. Last time I tried to make a song, it was a channel intro, and that did not end well. I am John Lennon, okay.
I am Ringo.
I need new friends. So yeah, I'm gonna go to all these places of worship, sacred places, and I'm just gonna, you know, experience otherworldly religions that aren't Christian. So yeah, come on this journey with me. How do you do intros to videos? Like, what are you supposed to do? I give up. This is the intro to the video. Thank you for coming to my channel and thus to my forehead. It's a nice forehead, right? God did a good job. All right. So, first, we're gonna go to a Hindu temple. Taking Jesus with me. Let's go. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I have food in my teeth. Hello, today I'm going to the Hindu temple. I look like I'm not excited, but I actually really am. So the interesting thing is, unlike church, church usually has a set time, which is usually the morning. And they usually have a set day, which is the Sabbath, whatever that means for whatever denomination and you are. But here, it just has like times when the building is open, and it opened at 5:30, and it's open for whenever, all days of the whatever. And I think that's kind of cool. I won't be able to record. Oh, that was just the engine turning off. All right, I'm going out. I see people in my group. So I just finished with my Hindu temple experience, and I personally thought it was pretty interesting for starters. I walked up to the building and I could kind of tell that I was at the right place because it had like the architecture on the outside. It was very simple, but I could tell it was of Indian culture. But going inside of the building, it had much more complexity than the outside. You walk into the building, and whenever you go into a place of worship, you usually think about what you're wearing. So, for instance, people at church, they normally wear like suits or dresses and all that. And here it's a little bit different because you'll find some people who wear traditional Indian clothes, but then you'll find some people who just come as they are. But the only dressing requirement that they have is that you take your shoes off. They have this rack out in front where you just put your shoes on it or your sandals, and then you go inside either barefoot or with your socks on. But going into the building, the first thing I noticed stepping in was the smell, and it didn't smell bad. It didn't smell bad. It was incense. They were burning incense. So I walk in, and the first thing I see is it's a big and somewhat empty room. It's very spacious. It's not empty, but there's just a lot of space in between the things within the temple. And when I went inside, I noticed that they had like 3 main rooms at the front. Rooms? Yeah, rooms. And they had their gods put in there, and they call them priests there too. The head priest of the Hindu temple said that they regularly wash them, dress them, and feed them. Like, looking around, I noticed that they had food put in front of their gods. All of their gods were dressed up in the colors of the Indian flag, and this is to commemorate an Indian holiday on January 26th, I think. I think it's their Independence Day. I don't know. But it was pretty interesting. They were burning incense and it smelled nice. And interestingly enough, I wasn't greeted first by their priest or by any of the members of that temple or the visitors. I was greeted by a cat. Kitty. Come on, kitty. Kitty. Kitty.
Did you find the cat?
I did find the cat. Come on, kitty. Hello. Hi. Hello. I don't know cat breeds, but it was this cute and adorable white cat. She only had one eye. This is the cutest thing ever.
Why did she not like you? Mommy is not like you.
Aw.
Her name is Ramani.
Ramani, now I know. Thank you. I asked the head priest about this. I'm like, do they usually have animals just casually roaming around in Hindu temples? Because I thought that was pretty cool. The reason why they had a little temple cat running around, it was because they had a rat problem. We got to witness one of their traditions and ceremonies. They do it every night around 6:30 and every morning at 11. They basically played 3 songs worshiping their gods. They had bells playing. They were giving gifts to their gods, and the way they did that was they waved a fire in front of each of them in the room. At one point, one of the members at the front sprinkled water on the crowd, and some of the visitors who go there often tilted their heads down to receive the water on their head, symbolic of like receiving the gift, It was an interesting experience because I'd never been to a Hindu temple, so this was definitely an eye-opening experience. I also noticed that there was a time when they had a candle. It was like a lamp with fire on it. Yeah. People would walk up to it, they'd like gently rub their fingers on the fire and then rub it on different parts of their face, whether it was like their heads, their eyes, or just like smearing it on themselves. And it was all symbolic of like receiving a gift from the gods. I think it was like, you know, light, warmth, and that sort of stuff. Again, I might be wrong. I'm not Hindu. Reading out of a textbook is great. You can get the information, but you don't get the experience down until you actually experience it. So Christians tend, not all of them, but some of them tend to believe in the concept of the Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And Hindus have something similar, but different, but still similar, called the Trimurti. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. And it's Brahman, Vishnu, and Shiva. Brahman, the creator, Vishnu, the maintainer, and Shiva or Shiva, I've heard it pronounced both ways, the destroyer. I think this temple mainly focused on Vishnu because they usually have like temples focusing on like a specific god, you know? And this one I think was focusing on Vishnu. And right next to Vishnu was a goddess. I don't know her name. I'm so sorry. But I feel like it's very important to address this. She had a swastika on her hand. The swastika, originally it wasn't a Nazi symbol at first. The Nazis took it from Hindus, and the original meaning was peace and prosperity and that sort of good stuff. And then the Nazis kind of took it for themselves and turned it into a sign of racism. So I feel bad for Hindus in that sense because that's not fun. Imagine if somebody like took the symbol of like the cross or any of your religious symbols and then they turned it into like a symbol of racism and hate and all that. That doesn't sound fun. I personally can't wait to go to all the other religious sites of worship, holy site things. Yeah. Next on the list is the Buddhist temple, right? Is it called a temple? Is it a mosque? No. I'm gonna drive home now before I get an aneurysm. Namaste.